meeting to order and ask for approval of the agenda for the study session.
A motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. So I asked these guys to print this out for you so you guys can talk to Karen about it when we get to it. And then I was gonna bring up to her that, they keep talking about a May letter of this year, but we didn't get one, I didn't get one anyway.
What is this
Did
year?
you? From other agendas,
Oh.
we didn't get that one that she was talking about last time.
I mean, I don't think so, mine.
May of this year?
Yeah. Did you get one?
No.
I didn't get one either.
And you were good.
Yeah, and then so,
We're gonna ask her about it, right?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anything else we want to talk about?
With Karen?
Because she can't be here till 5:30.
Well, I kind of wanted to talk to her if she's gonna be helping out with payroll, you know, or who's gonna be helping out with payroll? I guess that's what I was wondering. Whether it will be Jan or Kevin, maybe you have,
Yeah, she has a person.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
That
Can't think
this
of-
one's just a
Person with a
think
lower
it's a-
bill than herself, hopefully.
Yeah, still spending.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than what we were spending with Chris Reese and with that other group.
Okay.
But, we had a couple of different, at least 2 different options.
She's gonna be in person, I think, in October, just online today. Are they gonna be doing payroll, or when is, Kathy's last day? Sherry left tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
we're going to lunch with her. And, she's got somebody contracted.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've actually had 2 applicants. One looked pretty good, so I feel like we should just get that as quick as we can, because then, right, we can get them trained and get them under,
So
I
they'll
haven't
be
talked
training
to
for them too,
Karen.
then I assume?
for sure. The one candidate, if that was the one that has some experience in Chronos, payroll, different, actually quite a few different areas, a little more in the medical field than the school field, but has some. But payroll is a unique animal, I think. She said that's a different, like that's just harder to train, say, than some of the other positions. So, but we do have somebody that, make sure the payroll goes out, number one, that's been the number one thing. And they'll be able to train and work with the new person on the plan too, so.
And you were gonna look at you're gonna do that for next year, a different way to keep time for classified personnel?
Yeah, we're in the,
Implement that sooner.
we're in the, right in the middle of purchasing that software that allows the classified time to just go directly into, I don't know, is it Visions? I guess, I don't know if that's part of the payroll, but, to go directly into that software so that we don't have to manually, it's very inefficient. It's a chance to make mistakes, it's very time consuming. One of the big issues that we, for whatever reason, when we set up our time, our schedule this year, our payroll schedule, was they set it up, they only gave them 1 day to get it done. So it's very stressful, and there's no time hardly to get it done, and so they would set it up so it's about, 3 days. So Karen asked if we could adjust that, and I said, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know exactly, I think that's not great with USFR stuff, but it works. I mean, you'd have to make it work for that person and for the district too, so, some of those things are, they're a little messy, because we should have had it set up that way from the get-go, just didn't. I don't know why, but, yeah, they didn't give themselves any leeway, so there's time. So now what happens is in order to make this work, the classified people have to sort of guess what their last 2 days are gonna be. So it's a little messy that way. So then what happens if they guess wrong, then we have to adjust it in the next pay cycle. So that's why it's, normally wouldn't do that. That's not kosher or the best way to do it. But it does gives us a couple extra days.
Yeah, because this one's sick or something.
Just because the state does it doesn't mean he does it doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. It means it's probably not the right way to do it.
Otherwise, you have
It's
to
later.
change your whole payroll,
Yeah.
It
you know,
was,
so you have,
this year was weird anyway. Remember the first week we had a kind of a habit pay, it was weird. It's like, I've never seen that happen before. Like when you come in new, you just come in new and you get paid when, I'm used to actually getting paid once a month. So this is the first time in my lifetime I've ever been paid every 2 weeks. So, so that's new to me. But, so even after my first year, and you had, I mean, I don't even know who all had to deal with that, but all of a sudden in the first week of July, remember, it was just weird, I don't know, and it was an adjustment, it had something to do with adjusting to the new pay schedule, I don't know, it was weird.
Okay, let's try this first. Let's do something, even if it's wrong.
do something what?
Even if it's wrong, let's do
Even if
something.
it's wrong.
Let's get moving.
Anything till she started, enough you guys wanna talk about this before she got here? If there's anything you wanna highlight out of all 17 pages? I already looked at it. I just kinda wanna know where we're at as far as steps for everything.
Karen says she is home,
These
you
are all
can
ready.
log on,
There's nothing we can do till she gets in.
so I'm ready to go when you finish.
Like a snatch?
No, I wanna knock
Stacy.
this crap out.
Oh, this is all right, wait a second, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Karen says she's home.
Okay, she's ready, she can come call early?
Yeah.
Okay.
Said she was gonna log on anyway. Do you want me to connect?
Not yet, don't we have another agenda item first?
No, that's the first one.
Oh,
I mean, if no one has anything else on 1.1 when she comes.
what is the first item?
Discussion concerning district office
Yeah, I thought that was
operations.
that first.
That just
Whatever you
this.
want.
I'm sorry, where are we?
1.1. We're just talking about payroll and.
Well, if we're talking about payroll, I do have a question. How are we doing as far as with our stipends and getting those contracts out and getting them to the employees? I've heard some feedback from some employees that they haven't received their addendums, and I didn't know if this is something we should talk to Karen about, or do you know where we are on that?
No, pretty much. So there, there's an awful lot of stipends, first of all. So we have those sped ones, the ones that are additional if I objectively fall into a certain category.
Well, I'm talking about any stipends that we have approved as
Yeah,
from like
so-
last April, where we are
So
on that.
Karen did have some questions on that a little bit, because she's kind of used to putting that with a name. But we talked with Denise, and I said, that doesn't make sense to me, because there are a number of times, just as an example, the longevity, if I meet that objective qualification, then we can pay them, right? That the board has approved that. There's no question, that if I'm 15 years or whatever, I've been in the district, it's objective, it's not subjective. Sure, we know what we're gonna pay a head coach, but we have to name the head coach. That makes sense to me.
Well,
you know
that
what I
was
mean?
done a long time ago.
So, right, so the retention, I don't wanna say argument, but the discussion with the retention was the same thing. That is, you objectively you'll meet those criteria. The board set a very objective criteria. So Karen just wasn't, she's pretty conservative. I don't like to throw that kind of word out there, but she's just kind of careful. And I said, that's fine, I don't have a problem with that. I said, this is something that was approved, 2-3 years ago. And they looked at that and they have objective, and Denise agreed with that. So there was just a touch of a holdup on that, but it really wasn't a holdup, because those are to be paid actually in September.
So
So we're on
schedule.
schedule.
Okay, that's
We
what I
just-
needed.
Yeah, we just have
Thank
to,
you.
somebody's gonna have to spend a good day probably entering all of that
Well, at
information.
least, I'm sure.
I've heard a little bit, just through the grapevine actually, that there might be a little bit of issue, I think, like with the sped ones, and I don't know why that would be, because those aren't new or anything. And the
Right.
retention's not new.
Well, even our
Um,
coaches, I mean, we've been
Yeah.
approving coaches, it seems like every
They don't
month.
get
for
paid
the-
till after the
Yeah.
season.
They'll get paid, they get theirs at
But
the end.
they're in here on the
So-
agenda.
I don't know that they've gotten their addendums, is what I'm saying, you know, so that, because usually, typically, an employee will sign it, and then it goes into their file, whether it be whatever, sped or whomever. So I
So that,
just wanna make sure we were on.
sure,
schedule.
I can actually,
That's
I'm
all.
not sure about the addendum part, they should receive that, that is, you should get a contract anytime you're,
Yeah, and
an
I know
addendum or
some
a contract.
have.
Yeah.
So if you could just check on that, that would be
Yeah, I can do
wonderful. Thank you.
Kelly, I did get some good news on my sped stipends today. Nicole stopped by and
Uh-huh.
said that they're all entered and they will get those. They were worried it was gonna take longer, so she had told some people longer, but they'll be there in our next pay period, like the
Beautiful.
22nd, so
Thank you.
that's great.
Thanks,
And I was able to communicate that out.
awesome, glad to
So-
hear it, thank you. I just wanna make sure our staff, you know, we're taking care of them, that's all.
Yeah,
That was my
absolutely.
only concern.
I haven't received anything, so I wasn't, I kinda heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah, yeah, me too, thank you. Are we on A now?
Somebody sponsored me.
I think we're waiting for this lady to either show up or be on screen or
Yeah.
whatever. That's what we're waiting
She's
on.
hooking up.
Okay, so when are we going to handle the other item? Or are we going to handle?
Oh, I see what you see.
I think I'm lost.
I think A is just an accident.
Okay,
You want A?
I was looking at 4, so we're going to sit.
We'll check. When she comes, we'll go to 1.2.
Are we not allowed to go ahead and knock out some of the other stuff while we're waiting?
Sure. Go ahead.
Can we go ahead?
Go ahead, John.
No, I'm not running the meeting, I'm asking a question.
If
Are
you
any of
want
this
to
stuff
step
there?
in
Can we do any of this
Oh,
crap
no,
there?
no, we can't.
Why not?
Because we're not to the regular meetings until 6:30.
Jeez, whiz.
Yeah, this is a work session.
We got them all running together, what's the diff?
I know.
I mean, we're approving agendas,
No, just
For a
the
later
study
meeting?
session. Just for the study session.
okay, we're approving the agenda for the next one.
You don't wanna get reprimanded when you get done.
I wanna
The
get work
approval
done.
agenda is 5.1.
There's not that much
For the
stuff
other
in here.
Yeah, me too,
I'm in dire need of beauty sleep, so.
me too, I got home
You've
way
been busy.
too late.
Well, I suggest we go ahead until she's on, because she wasn't going to be on till 5:15, going ahead and do district office operations.
Oh, we might have, I think we might have done it. I don't see it changing.
I think that's what we are doing, discussion of district
Here,
operations.
he's talking about action items.
No, but Kelly was talking about.
So that's my Google Meet, and I don't know, I thought I had it set up.
Is that all we
here
have
time.
set for this work session is
Just-
visit with her?
Just to talk
You
to
what?
her.
So I need, that's my Google
So
Meet.
all we have for this work session is to visit with her.
This is on the agenda though,
Yeah,
so,
if you have anything else you want to talk about,
okay.
now's the time.
Well, I asked it to be put on to talk about what's going on in the district office, is that on there?
That's the first item.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing.
Well, I guess it is.
So do you have something to add, Paul? I guess that's where we're at right now.
Is it my turn to speak?
I guess it is.
Okay, I've got some concerns with what's going on in the district office. Number one, I'm not here after anybody's butt, I don't care. I don't know if you folks are aware that, and I'm not gonna throw the AD under the bus. We we bought a paint sprayer that wasn't handled properly. We've got a well that's down, and, we hooked onto city water. Don't know why we did that.
Maybe Sean question.
I don't know how much money we've spent on city water. Do you, Kevin?
I don't,
Well, I was the original guy that put all that stuff in. The first year we saved $50,000. And we haven't been on the well since it's been broken, and Kevin asked that I not work on it, because I'm on the board, and I'm the one that put it in. And that's fine, I accept that. But I don't know why we're on city water.
Can you have Sean check on that, Kevin? and-
Yeah.
Get an
Sean
email-
put us
email
on
out
city
to us
water.
Why the well isn't fixed?
Kevin was not aware of it. When, we spend money, do department heads, are they the ones that make the decision to spend the money, or does it come through a channel?
Usually they would spend it themselves, wouldn't they?
I don't know, I'm asking.
And it comes to us for approval?
So how many of us knew the well was broken?
I didn't.
How many of us knew we were purchasing water from the city at an increased price?
Do we know that?
Absolutely,
Well,
we know
no.
that.
I know they charge
You
more
talked
than
to
if
the
you have a
city?
well.
Anybody?
Oh, they
I
charge
worked
more
with
than
the
if you
city.
have a well. That's why people put in their own wells, so they don't have to pay the
We
city.
need some training on how to use the well, because we replace it every single year that I've been on board. Except for the one time we had a facilities director who came from Arizona
Well, the
Water.
last time I replaced it, it was free, so.
That was what, a couple years ago?
You could still do it for free, Paul.
No, I can't.
You just,
Kevin said I can't work on it.
for free you can.
Actually, as long as you declare a conflict, you could.
I don't know, you can't do it
Yeah,
for
you
free.
just have to declare a conflict on the paper, or conflict of interest. And actually, if it's a bidding process, if you're the lowest bidder, I believe you can.
Yeah,
If
you
you're
can
not,
do that.
Free would
You
be the
can
lowest
select.
one.
if it doesn't even meet the criteria, then
That's another misinformation.
Well, I guess my question is, used to be that the business manager would take care of that stuff. Since we don't have one, is that your job now?
As far as what part of it?
Expenditures that go out that you're not aware of?
I think every expenditure should go through the superintendent's office.
I think you're right too.
Yeah.
But it don't.
And through you guys.
But you don't know what we're paying the city for water, and what the difference is between that and if we had our well.
I don't.
What good is that?
Well, I'm not here to harp on that.
I can
That's
find
not-
out.
That's not what I'm here to harp on. Well, I'm not here to harp on anything, actually. I just wanna, this thing to run properly. I mean, I talked to Rebecca and she quit because she can't get along with you.
As well as all the other ladies that have left.
Well,
It's not just her.
I'm not out.
Everyone that's left,
Pretty quick,
that has been a reason.
we're gonna run out of people to hire.
Only a soul and shoal left.
Any? you got
I really
anything to
can't
say?
speak to what somebody else is thinking unless they come and talk to me, so I really
Well, I
can't.
got it on paper that she talked to you.
I mean, I don't know.
Any CEO that says, I don't know about the company he's running
We can't talk about
are issues.
personnel specifically in this
I
meeting.
can't speak for other
That's why I
people.
said a CEO of a company
I can't speak for other
that
people.
speaks, I don't know about things going on that important in the company, you must be worried. A board would be worried. Any company board,
I'm worried.
any hospital board, any board.
That's just the things I know about.
Last thing in the world the CEO of a company should say is, I don't know.
Anything else, Paul? Right now, all the positions are filled except payroll, correct? 'Cause Kathy's
I was-
husband- And Kathy's husband couldn't find a job, so she's moving back to Phoenix.
I don't know for sure. I know Kathy's, it's a personal thing. I think it's with me, but could be. I don't know.
Well, Rebecca. I would like on a higher note to thank Mr. Marchant. I've had some folks telling me he's standing out at the door when the kids come into the school and sending them home if they're not dressed appropriately. Way to go. I think that's great. We in the school district, according to some of the parents, and I'm not gonna tell who some of them are worried about their kids coming to school here because of the toxic environment that we have.
We can talk about that in an actual agenda item if you want, Paul, but right now it's just district
Okay, well,
office
I'm just throwing
concerns.
it, I didn't say we were gonna talk about it,
I'm gonna write down,
okay.
in all the schools you're
And I got nothing against you, Kevin, I really don't, I like you. I just want it to run better than what it's doing.
In regards to what aspect in the district
Aspect
office?
of money going out without anybody know about it, except for the department heads.
Well, we approve everything.
Did we approve turning on city water?
Did we
Not-
approve
not
purchasing
yet, if it
a
just happened.
It
tractor?
happened 3 months ago.
Did we approve purchasing a tractor?
I believe
That we
Vanessa took that
purchased?
to us
Yes,
quite
she
a while
did.
ago.
Yeah, before.
Yes, and that, because they, yes, I
don't
do
think it's an
remember
actual
Vanessa
tractor, it's
talking
a
about
little
that.
robot, isn't it? It does all the fields.
A tractor or a painter that paints the fields? It's a robotic something or another.
Okay, so
So your issue with that was it doesn't work, or?
No, it was done without being approved.
That thing was purchased, and then because it wasn't followed, the appropriate path was not followed to purchase it, they made an agreement with the city to park it at the city, so that it was not on property, nobody knew about it. And then when they went and did all the paperwork correctly, then they pulled it over here and began using it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's just what I know about. I don't know what other things.
So we need more training on, and I think that's part of what we're going to be working on is training and all the staff on what the appropriate actions for,
The
to get
AD
things
knew what
done.
the appropriate action was, he chose not to follow.
well, the correspondence shows that it was approved, and then we're gonna use camp
I got
funds
the
through
correspondence, you
Vanessa.
wanna look at it?
I'm not saying one employee didn't tell you anything different, but she's not the only one
Well, the same
involved in
thing
it.
that Kevin read.
He wrote a letter admitting he had made a mistake. He misread an email.
Okay, and I accept that.
Yeah.
But what about everything else that goes on? And I'm not
That's
gonna
our
be.
job, so let's move forward with it, starting with
When
this
is it gonna
audit
be our
that's
job?
Yeah,
been.
when are we
don't
gonna
even know
talk
about
about it? When are we gonna talk
What
about
else
it?
do you wanna talk about with it?
We gotta figure out a way to fix it.
And they're doing the trainings through Heinfeld Beach, and I think that's really gonna be good for
Now,
everybody.
when Heinfield Beach comes on, are they gonna be like they're gonna take care of approved expenditures from department heads, or is Kevin?
Gee, she's here now, do you wanna talk to her about it?
Well, ask Kevin. Can I ask that?
Sure.
It's a combination. It's a combination, absolutely.
And you guys are
I'm
gonna
more
work together
involved.
so that you know, both know.
Yeah, I'm more involved with the value or benefit to the district, but also with understanding what limitations or amounts of money we have or don't have. But in a deeper sense, the business manager in her case, which again, she doesn't know where all that $22 million is going, just M&O, right? That's just M&O. She
Well, and
really
she's
doesn't
due.
understand.
I mean, she's got a lot of work to do to wrap her hands around everything.
Yeah, but she does know if it's in the budget. So she can identify that quicker, look through all those line items and say, yep, you have that money, you're good. And obviously until you get to 100%, in
Well,
which case then you're
and-
done spending.
And I
Unless you're-
appreciate that, I understand that.
Unless you
But the
find
items I'm
another
talking about, were they in the budget?
was the,
The field sprayer.
yes, well, no, it was a part of that was okay through that 600,000, that we got at the end. It was not expected, was not part of the budget, there was that extra amount of money. That was where that money, that was where why that expenditure was approved. So, yeah, that made sense, just from so many different ways, from talking with Sean in terms of the lack of personnel that we have, the amount of time that it takes to maintain those fields and paint those fields, which is why everybody on the mountain's getting one. We
No,
were
I'm not-
looking
I'm not
at,
upset about getting
yeah,
it.
no, it was a good purchase. It
No,
was
I'm
a smart,
upset, I'm
it was a
upset
smart
about how it
purchase.
was done.
There's a question is, did we have the money? And in fact.
No, the
he
question
was-
is, was it approved by you?
yeah, not right when he bought it, no.
No, well, then that's the
Yeah, he
problem.
messed up, yeah, we had to fix it, so it doesn't matter, it was a paperwork thing, it got fixed. It got remedied,
A paperwork thing.
well, it was a paperwork thing,
Well,
that's
he-
exactly what it
What
was.
would you have wanted
He
to be
admitted that it
done?
was a
They did
mistake
steal
and
it.
it
I would have
Yeah.
liked to have him know about it
Yeah.
before they
Well,
bought it.
But he did,
Well,
he honestly thought that email.
I wanted you to know about it before they bought it.
Right, he thought.
You
that-
didn't.
No,
But
he asked
why would
if,
you
he
want
asked
them
if he
to
could
know
approve
about
it.
it?
Isn't that his job?
He asked if it was approved, and I said yes.
Isn't that our job?
Through the
My number one
business
job in this board
Yeah.
is to watch what happens to taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Number two is to make sure our kids come out of there with a quality education.
Agreed,
Right.
and I agree with that, but is it our job to oversee what every director wants to go and purchase
No,
for
it's
their
his.
program?
It's his.
But I'm telling you, that was what started this, is I had an email in regards to the request for it. I said, well, we need to get approval through the business manager, make sure the money's there. This was before we knew about the $600,000 that the state was giving, this was back in May or April, I don't know, it was a while ago. And so he read that email wrong and thought it was approved, and then purchased it. I'm like, and then all of a sudden, I think Rebecca actually came into my office and said, hey, did you approve this? Cause that's what he said. I said, no, I don't know what you're, so yeah, then all of a sudden we have this machine sitting here, and then that's what happened. I said, well, let's look at whatever, and when we were looking at sending it back, but then there was supposed to be a $10,000 cost or something like that, and like, well, that probably isn't good use of taxpayer money. And so we just looked deeper into it, and seemed like a good purchase. We actually had to send it to Denise to look at the contract and look at the, the idea of even doing a lease, which was not a good lease at all. That would have not been good for the district, because we were responsible basically for it, and would have paid about $90,000 for a $60,000 deal. But in terms of amount of time, I mean, we have a hard time maintaining our fields. And I've seen schools go, that's why they go to the artificial turf, so they don't have to do all that. Well, that's millions of dollars, or over.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
I agree we needed it.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue is how it was purchased.
But
I get that.
the fact when they did know that there was a problem with the way it was purchased,
It was
and,
purchased before they knew it.
and they figured out a way to make it legal and to make it legit, I mean, isn't that what we want them to do?
No, we want them to do that before we purchase
Well,
it.
I would agree with you, Paul, but obviously there was a mistake made, whether it was with one
Okay,
person, two people, three people. But once a mistake was realized, they worked to resolve that issue.
They did.
And
So
so,
are you saying no one should ever make mistakes?
Never mind.
I mean,
Go ahead with your meeting.
Are you ready for Karen? I think so, let's see. Karen, are you there? Karen, are you there?
yeah, because before we were sitting facing that way.
My sound not on? Karen?
Ask her in chat.
Where's my little, I don't see my little, yeah. Oh, that's weird. Karen?
Kevin, can you hear me?
Yes, but you can't hear me? Is it the volume down?
the ones I found. I have to do more digging,
Well,
Karen?
it's not my job.
Does anybody here work besides
Karen?
I mean, if I purchased something through the city without approval, I'd find myself in a crap load of trouble.
We don't have to have them.
When you were doing it,
Kevin, can y'all hear me?
Karen, I can.
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I mean, it's under adjournment, so I can see what it is.
The very bottom.
So like 11.1 is the next regular meeting. Don't miss adjourn first.
You're sitting next to me and both me. John will be out of here having dinner.
What?
I said you'll be out of here having dinner, because
when was the
we
purchase?
have to change that.
Testing, 1, 2.
Yeah, I can hear you. You guys hear me?
Just to get out of here, just need to have dinner.
You want to adjourn?
To have a conversation.
Tonight?
Karen,
Yeah, can you hear me?
we can. I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. I think you're on.
Press the mute button.
Karen, sorry, I muted you.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you want it louder, guys?
Nope, she's good, can she hear us?
You can hear us?
I can hear you. Yes, Kevin, I can hear you. I hear a little bit in the background, so I'm probably gonna need you to repeat any questions.
Okay, I can do that.
Hi, Karen.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm not sure where the agenda was at, but I know that Kevin had asked me to give an update, kind of where we are with the various different priorities that we had previously set for the work that we're doing with the district. So I thought I would just go through and status and where we are with some of those items, and then open it up to any questions that the board may have. So before I get started, any questions in the room?
Nope, go ahead, Karen.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so a couple of the priorities that we have over the last couple of weeks is the 90-day corrective action plan with the Auditor General's office. So we did receive an updated request for our corrective action plan, which we refer to as a CAP, a CNP, corrective action plan. So we're in the process of building that to show evidence of the improvements. That is due to the Auditor General's office in early October. At the same time, we're also working on our corrective action from the general single audit that is due to Arizona Department of Education. And we worked with Arizona Department of Education to have that due around the same time that we're doing the corrective action plan for the Auditor General's office. So we're doing those on the same track. In doing that, we're also in the process of establishing a lot of the procedures that need to be in place from payroll processing, payroll purchasing, cash handling, all of the different areas of corrective action that are necessary. Included in that is making sure that our federal tax and state tax returns that are filed quarterly are being caught up. We have completed quarter 2 to submit those, and we're waiting for access to the federal website, which is called EFTPS. They had to request a PIN notification from the IRS, which can be sent to us through US mail. So that should be received this week, so we can file that. And we're working with Arizona Department of Revenue to update our login permission to submit them as well. Back at the end of we completed all of the final transactions for 2023. Those were all submitted to the county treasurer and county supervisor's office by August 27th. So now we're in the process of closing out our prior fiscal year.
Karen?
So when the
Karen?
yes.
I'm sorry, you're kind of going in and out. I don't know if it's just how close you get to the mic or your, phone. Can you repeat a little bit of that last little bit? Sorry.
Sure, yeah, I apologize if I'm cutting out, trying to the internet connection.
Okay, that right there is good.
Okay, and I'm sitting still, I'm not moving, so I'll try to stay still. So, what I was saying is, as part of the corrective action plan, we are also documenting and updating all of our business operation procedures district-wide. So that goes from procurement to accounts payable, payroll, cash handling, everything that you can imagine that has a business-related function. We're in the process of documenting those procedures, as well as then getting some of those procedures in an understandable format for all of our departments, our school staff. So those we're hoping to have ready to send out by the end of this week or early part of next week, so that everybody can be implementing those. So when we file our corrective action plan, we can show that those are being implemented. Some other areas of corrective action is making sure that our federal and state taxes have been caught up. We're in the process of getting our federal login information from the IRS. I think that might have been where I cut out. The IRS requires that we get a paper PIN notification sent to us through US mail. So we're waiting for that to come in so we can file our taxes. And we're working with the Arizona Department of Revenue to also get the updated login information. As you can imagine, the last couple of weeks, one of this has been getting access to the right record. We closed out our final voucher with the county superintendent's office at the end of August. So we have all of the necessary access with the county now, and the accounts payable team and the payroll team worked on getting all of that finalized. So now we can work on our year-end reporting that will be brought to the governing board for approval in October. We're also in the process of the other priorities. We got all the needed access for the district records. So just making sure that we have our process and procedures in place. We're working on getting a new time card system in place for electronic timekeeping, so that we can have a more seamless integration between the time clock system and our payroll process. We're working with the management team to get our SR2 final reconciliation complete, because that grant ends here at the end of September. So in about 2 weeks, that will end. And really just getting everything caught up to ensure all their purchase orders have been issued for FY23, processing all the requisitions and any vendor requests from the whole line to the departments, and just answering all the questions for the various different individuals on some of the process and procedures. I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks to put out a bid request for our audit services, because we will need to have that lined up for later this winter. We have the external auditors come in and complete the FY23 audit. There are some other efficiencies that we're going to be building as well, as far as getting all of our banking records that are held outside of the county treasurer into our general ledger, and streamlining some of those processes and procedures as well. Utilizing the ERP system. So Visions is our district's ERP system. So there are some efficiencies that we are building within that as well, such as attaching some of the backup documentation through that rather than emailing that separately. We're just looking to try to make it easier for the end users while still being compliant with the requirements that we have. So that's in a nutshell kind of what we've been working on in the past 3 weeks. There's a lot more embedded in a lot of that, as you can imagine, but that's kind of a snapshot or a helicopter view of some of the work that we've been working with the districts on. I will be back on site later this week. I'm actually coming on site Thursday and Friday to do some training with our accounts payable team, work with Jamie on some of the grant closeout, and work with some of the other departments as well. So, questions I can answer from the board?
So you will be here Thursday and Friday then?
Yes, I will.
Okay, very good.
You guys have any specific questions on all that? Any questions, Kelly or Paul?
I'm good, thank you.
I guess I just wanted to make sure that you feel confident in us, getting the CAP done timely what I kind of wanted to know what your thoughts are on what, if it will be accepted by the Auditor General's office and how, how do you feel about it?
So I'll tell you, yes, it will be complete and it will be comprehensive and submitted by the deadline. There will be areas that the district will not be able to show improvement yet because we need some time to be able to demonstrate these procedures that we're putting into place are being followed. So there are some areas that I can tell you right away, we already are meeting the objective. We're on the procedures in place and we can show evidence that that has been done. But there are some areas where it'll show in progress so that we can have transactions that will show them that these new procedures that we're implementing are actually being followed.
Do you feel confident that they'll receive this and accept it and work with us on it?
Yes, I believe that they will accept the comprehensiveness of it and see the areas of improvement that are already being demonstrated. I don't know how, what's the word I'm looking for, the lenience that they'll be able to.
You cut out there at the end. You said
I believe that they will. So there will be areas that they will see that we're in progress. I feel confident that they will accept the procedures that the district is putting into place, but we will need some time to show the evidence of compliance. Some of the procedures that we're documenting are going to be a bit aggressive in kind of forcing our procedures to change. But I believe with the resources that we're gonna provide to the district staff, that should not be a difficult transition for the staff to see the streamlining of some of our processes while still at the same time being compliant with the requirements.
Awesome, thank you.
Do you guys have any other questions for Karen? Karen, I have one last question, like how long will it take to start showing that we're making progress in every area? Like will it be in the spring or will it take a year? What are they looking for?
So they're looking for some of these areas to be corrected immediately. In some of these areas we can show that. There are some things that we only do on an annual basis. For example, the district needs a physical inventory of all of its capital assets. So from the desks that our students are sitting at, to the projectors, to the buses, to the building. That needs to be completed. That's not something that can be done in a week's time. We need to do a complete physical inventory of all of the district assets. So that would be something that I would anticipate that will show that we have completed that, and we can provide a complete capital asset reconciliation later this spring, but I don't see that that's something that we could have done by the first week of October.
Okay, thank you.
But that will buy us time to get in compliance with the areas that we're a little weak on now.
Yes, exactly. So, well, we will be able to show these are our procedures, and in this, we're not just writing on their report, these are our procedures, we're building procedure manuals. For example, I've got one that I'm drafting for all of our school and department staff. That kind of, I call it like the end user guide, versus then we have a more detailed procedure manual for our business office staff, for those who, for example, are paying our invoices, issuing our vouchers from the county treasurer. Those are gonna be more detailed procedures than what our school sites need to see as far as how do they get a purchase order.
Thank you.
Karen, do you have anything else? Okay. Thank you, Karen. Looking forward to talking to you in October.
Yes, I'm looking forward to presenting the year review. That's where we'll be able to have a good picture for our budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
I don't think so, but I think we need to move it because she needs to wrap everything up. She's so kind of